Welcome to another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by Dreams to Reality Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward inspiring, uplifting, and empowering communities all over the world. I'm your host, Mychal Davis, along with Mr. Jason Redmond.
How y'all doing today?
Now, this week, we have an amazing guest, someone I linked up with personally, and I mean, he's just been a great mentor. I mean, he's a great person. His faith is just out of this world. And his leadership, the way he connects with people and just helps them. I mean, there's nothing he wouldn't do for somebody. And in the short time I've known him, he's pulled me in close and he's been there for me. And I can't say enough about this man. For our whole organization, he's just been a blessing. So without further ado, Mr. Kristyn Daney, KD, Mr. 2 Weeks, my $1 million mentor. I mean, I can go on. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I want to hear about this. Look, Mychal has been talking about this Mr. 2 Weeks, and I got to hear the story, man. He told me a bit of it. I'm going to let you tell it because I believe in hearing it from the horse's mouth. So, man, I got to hear the story.
Absolutely. First of all, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys. Thank you all for considering me to be here with you on your podcast. And I'm grateful, I'm honored, and I'm privileged. All of that good stuff that Mychal talked about me, that is nothing, that is not me, it's all God, right?
Amen.
So, that's just
Amen.
how we move, that's how we live, right?
Right.
So for me, I've been a part of a space for now going on almost 3 years. And so God has been gracious. He has been kind. He has definitely developed a skill set in me and given me an eye to see. And in the eye, I'm able to matriculate and execute what I see to produce massive increase. Okay. And so for me, I definitely was part of I Am Mastery Academy. And Dr. Kathy Kirkland was my direct mentor. They told me her story. He told me this is the lady that she gets up and she's at 3 o'clock in the morning and she's a co-pastor and she plays gospel music. I'm excited. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's what I want to connect.
Dr. Kathy is amazing.
Yeah, let me connect with her. And so she began to bring me in. She began to teach me and train me basically on the skill set of get your 10 and go, 10 pips and dip. And so I learned the skill set.
KD.
Yes, sir.
10 pips. Explain to people out here that don't know what pips are, what a pip is.
Absolutely. So we're traders. We're I'm not a trader. I'm an investor.
That's what you taught me. I remember you teaching me that lesson. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as an investor, when you invest in the financial markets, the price points, as they move, we call those pips. So the difference between one point to the next, that's a pip. And so in that regard, she taught us how to grab 10 and leave. And in doing that, she taught us a compound spreadsheet. Which is a 90-day spreadsheet. She took $40 into 1.4 million in 8 months. And so for me, I'm like, well, first of all, I need that. But not only do I need that, I need to figure out how I can do it quicker. And so one of my additional mentors, Miss Cam, they call her News Queen, and she began to teach me that particular compound spreadsheet. And so one of the things that she said was, why can't we get down to the end of the spreadsheet sooner? So I come from a math background.
Okay.
Right. So I'm an educator, right? 7th grade math. I love teaching, love educating. And so for me, it was very easy for me to condense this 90 days to 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so I decided to do 10 of those trades each day for 9 days. And so what that began to do with me is get me to the end of the spreadsheet very quickly. And so November the 16th, I crossed over and I am now a documented 7-figure earner. And so, 2 weeks is my name, the light bulb flipped and Dr. Kathy and all of them, they know me as 2 weeks. And so that's just who I am, and so now it's my duty, because it's not about what I have obtained, it's about how I can train the next. And so the Bible says, cast your bread upon the water. And so when you understand the commentary, it says, don't be stingy with your wealth.
All right now.
Okay? So when you cast your bread upon the water, it's going to spring back up. So I'm not jealous, right? So I'm not going to withhold information from you because you're going to supersede me. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, we are invested in the same market, and it's an $8.3 trillion per day market. So if you get $1 million and I get $1 million, who's hurting who? Nobody. Right? So, it's our duty to continue to impact, to teach, and to train the next. You know what I mean? So I crossed the threshold, but now my focus is who's next. Who's going to be the next one to cross? If I kick the door down, now I have to now pull somebody else over, because if I don't, then I'm a horrible leader. And so that's my focus. That's where I'm at. And so, Mr. Davis, he knows my mentorship comes with some severe pricing. And that's not monetization. It's the price of accountability. Y'all didn't like that. Y'all don't like the way I teach right here.
Hey, you got to give them the way you teach. Like when I worked in retail, I would tell guys, hey, look, I'm gonna train you. I'm gonna give you the basics, but the way you go out and be successful is you put your own spin on it. Now, what I do, you can't do, because it's not gonna work for you. Because what I do is me, and you ain't me, so you can't do this. But
now watch that, and that's a wonderful analogy. I like that. One of the things that I trained my team on last week, I said, listen, we all see what we see, right? But I'm not looking through your lens. I'm looking through my lens.
Right.
So you can't execute what's in my lens, and I can't execute what's in your lens. Absolutely. But you have to be knowledgeable, and you have to be confident in what you see to execute what you see. Right. The problem is we want to be looking through everybody else's lens instead of trusting what we see.
Amen.
And so when we decide to trust what's in our eye gate and execute what's in our eye gate, we will see the results.
Dig it.
That's just a little bit of me.
See, now it's so real, because what he's saying is like, because I remember calling him, and a couple times I'd be like, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing the trades. I got my charts marked up, and sometimes I'm pulling out early, and then they hit my TP, and I just think I'm doing, and I'm telling myself the answers, and he's just listening like, you're not trusting yourself. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, his leadership, it does come with a price, and that accountability is everything, because he's not going to kick it to you sweet, you know what I'm saying, or like you wanted to hear at all, you know what I'm saying? But he wants you to learn. He wants you to grow in this space, because if I earned 10 million, he wouldn't be jealous. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be jealous. But let's get back into your story, because you said you were a math teacher, you got a math background. Now, tell us your transition from teaching, you know what I'm saying, and then and coming into this space. Like, tell us a little bit about that transition.
So I actually went to school. This is an amazing journey. So I have too many degrees. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So I actually went to school for computer science. Oh, wow. And I went to school for computer science in 2002, graduated from Winston-Salem State University with a minor in mathematics. Okay. And so I began to program. I was a programmer at Pepsi Cola. And so I was programming, and I was, doing my thing. I was making $76,000 a year. And so, I was doing very well, especially right out of college, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I went to work, and I was bored, right? I'm a person that if I get bored, that means I lose interest, and then now I need to just either leave or do something different, or figure out how to get a passion, excitement, or something. Right. So I tried all of that, and nothing worked. So I told my supervisor, I said, hey, I'm going to go to lunch, but I'm not coming back.
Excuse me, sir.
So he was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I was like, this is not for me.
How long were you on the job?
So I was there for about 3 years.
Okay.
There for about 3 years. And I was like, this is just not for me. I just can't do this, you know? And so that was 2008. Quit.
So let me get this straight. You
Yeah.
walked away from a $76,000 a year job because you were bored.
Because I was bored.
In the midst of an oncoming mortgage crisis.
That's
Because
right.
the bubble burst in 2009, 2008.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
That's exactly right. Right. And so that happened. So what I did was I started substitute teaching. So I was a substitute teacher. I was making, catch this, $125 a day. And I had benefits.
What?
Well, I'm living a life. Appreciate it. Because, you know, my savings is stacked up because, you know, I was making good money.
Yeah.
So this is great. All right, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Went back to school, got a master's in IT, substitute teaching. And then while I was on an assignment, and I was on a long-term assignment, the math coordinator from the county came in and was like, oh my gosh, you were amazing. Her and the principal, they cornered me, was like, you need to be teaching. I was like, well, I always wanted to teach. You know, it's always in me to educate, but, you know, I just never really went after it. Well, they told me to fill out the application that night, and I was hired that very next day. And so that started my teaching journey. I started in high school, teaching geometry, calculus 1, and statistics. And then I came down to alternative education, and then I landed in middle school education and collegiate. So I've been teaching broad spectrum, but I know I landed in 7th grade math, which was particularly my passion, right? And so it was 2018 when I was graduating with North Carolina A&T with my school administration master's degree. And it's in 2018 that I was introduced to this space at my graduation practice rehearsal.
By whom?
Okay.
All that money to graduate.
Who introduced you to the space?
All right. So a good friend of mine, Alana McCarter, introduced me to this space. She actually told me to come to the church. Now I'm at graduation rehearsal. So I'm like, nah, I'm not coming to the church. I'm at rehearsal, you know, She was like, no, you got to get here. You got to hear this presentation. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be mad late, so I'm not coming. Like, what? Why are you pressing me?
Right.
She was like, bro, get here. I was like, I bet I'm gonna be late, but I'm coming. So when I got there, Dwayne Lodge was actually doing the presentation. And when I walked in the door, he said, you can take 50 cents and turn it into $50. So I just got there, right?
Right.
I stopped the entire presentation. It was 150 people in the room. I said, excuse me, I know I'm late, but what did you just say? He said, yeah, this problem, you could take 50 cents, turn it to $50. I was like, I bet. So my sister was like, bruh, come on. I was like, no, sign me up. Like, I don't know why these other people sitting here looking stupid. Like, I want to do that all the time, every day, all day. And so at that point, there was no more conversation. Like, everybody just particularly started doing what they wanted to do in that regard. And now, so here we are 3 years later. But yeah, so that's particularly my journey. The amount of money that I've made has caused me to retire myself. And has caused me to make some segue in the financial industry to take care of my family and to make some things work for myself financially. So
you've cast your bread on the water, and it's rising.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Because I know personally, like, your faith is just, you know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's huge. But has it always been that way? Has it how long has your faith been that strong? Because when I hear about your journey and how you have just transitioned, you know what I'm saying, through the stages of your life, it sounds like it was not a problem to just take those leaps. And I know that requires a lot of faith. So how did you develop that? And has that always been there?
So it definitely was developed over time. But I'm at a point where I believe God period, point blank in the period. If he say, go out there and stand on the edge of the mountain because you're getting ready to find, or somebody's going to meet you there and bless you with X, Y, and Z, I'm going to stand at the top of the mountain, the edge of the mountain.
Right.
Because I believe God with my fiber, every fiber of my being. And so if he spoke it, I know it's going to come to pass. And every move that I make, I consult God. And so when I have a peace, when there's a settledness and there's a peace, I move. Because if there's any kind of question, no, it's not time for me to make that decision. And so in building that faith, it came with, of course, having relationship with the Father, spending time with him, understanding his voice, knowing him, reading the word, praying, and just, being in the presence of God. Because one thing, in the presence of the Lord is the fullness of joy. At his right hands, there are treasures forevermore, right? God will reveal secrets. And so the beautiful thing about with the space that we are in, and this is why I talk about our eye gates, right? Because the Lord will cause you to see what everybody else can't see. And the Bible lets us know that he will put treasure in the mouth of a fish. And it's for you to go and get the treasure out of the mouth of the fish. And so we understand that this is a wicked government that we are in, they are up under, right? And so the wealth of the wicked, is laid up for the just. So if I know that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, and he's placed me in front of this particular recession-proof market, I'm gonna be right here, and I'm gonna position myself and posture myself to receive the wealth transfer.
$8 trillion a day.
Yeah. Wow. And Solomon, the wealthiest man that walked the earth. Ecclesiastes 11:1, Good News Translation says, it's good for man to enter into foreign trade, for he never know when hardship will hit his life. Verse 2, God promises you 7 streams of income and another for a rainy day. It sounds like 8 streams. That means I don't need to just be going to a job that I clock in on. That means that I need to have my hands. Behold, I give you what? Power to get wealth. It's in your hands.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's the space. When he talks about the space, is so serious, because I remember when I entered into space, and I've only been in for about 4 or 5 months. And my journey in space has been a 360, honestly. Because when I first entered in, it was because of a good friend of mine was in, and I was like, I'm trying to get this bread out the market. But
$8 trillion. Let's go.
I've gained more mindset and more faith in this space than anything. I mean, 360. Like, the reason why I'm here with you, Jason, honestly, like I prayed, my faith built up to this point, and just praying, you know what I'm saying, and writing my goals down, like at the beginning of the year, you know what I'm saying, and speaking this nonprofit into an existence. And I remember texting KD when this happened and telling him that this nonprofit thing was already in motion at the beginning of the year. God bless. You remember when I texted you and said that?
Oh yeah.
That's when I linked up with Jason Revin right here, and it was just, I mean, this space is amazing, and you get to help people, change lives, and you change your own life. I mean, the mindset, the money, everything comes along with this space. And I mean, being linked up with a millionaire ain't too bad either. You know
2
what I'm
weeks.
saying? Mr.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Mr.
So look,
2
I
weeks.
gotta ask the question. Because I know when I came out of college, I graduated like 95. God told me, man, take $25 from your next paycheck, start a mutual fund, and invest every pay period till you're 65. You'll be a millionaire. And I was like, man, that's kind of a long time. I was like, I think I might have been 22, 23 years old. I'm like, that's 40 years. I gotta wait 40 years to be a millionaire. So what is the one thing? Because you said you were introduced to this in like 2018. You had just gotten your second master's, correct?
No. 2018, that was actually my third master's.
Third master's. So I'm gonna try to put this in context of the money that you spent on that education to be in this space and to take 2 weeks and do what you did. So if you could build a time machine and go back and then say, hey, look, before you spend this money on these degrees, look at this opportunity. would you forego the education, or would you still go get that education?
I probably would have still went to get my education because that's just who I am.
Okay.
However, I will be further along than I am now.
Dig it. $1
billion man. We be talking to $1 billion man right now, or greater. You know
the
what I'm
big B.
saying? Yeah.
The big B.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I would probably be making moves like Oprah.
Yeah.
When Oprah deposited $100 million on October the 3rd, 2019 into Bitcoin. And here we are today. Bitcoin is $60,000.
For one coin.
At that moment, it was about $8,000. You can only imagine what her ROI was.
God,
you can only imagine.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
at least
those
7
kind of
times.
moves.
That's at least 7.
Kind of moves. Yeah. Those kind of moves, I would have definitely been able to make. But I'm grateful at the moves that I'm making now, because you know it's definitely worth it.
Can you like looking at your life right now, can you say to yourself, oh yeah, I knew I was going to be here. I knew I was going to be in this space when I was like 8, 9 years old. I knew I was going to be.
I was going to be in this space. I knew I was going to definitely be successful. And I knew that I was going to definitely change the trajectory of my life and my family's life.
Right.
I just didn't know that it was going to come this way.
Understandable. So what is it? So I've got a buddy of mine. He runs a nonprofit down in Atlanta. It's he does amazing things. And for like me to get into what he does, I'm a lie to you because I'm gonna say it wrong. So I'm just not gonna say it at all. But in the space that he's in, like I got a chance to talk to him, and he was saying how, you know, there's some. You talked about the government and the tax laws. There's some tax laws that are out that middle class working families don't get a chance to take part of. What is one thing that you would tell somebody to do that they're not even going to think about doing? It's something pretty simple, like maybe something to change their spending habit or something to do to change their financial situation.
Well, this is it. Don't be afraid to invest.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because middle class or underclass or whatever class we want to call it, anything that's underneath upper class, let's just put it that way. A lot of our financial knowledge is based upon struggle.
Okay.
And so if we can get educated on financial literacy,
okay,
we will change the trajectory of our lives.
How would you tell them to start investing? What would you tell them to start with? So let's say
what's in your home?
What do you mean?
What product is in your home?
Let's say I use Colgate toothpaste.
Okay. You use that every week or every month or every 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Invest in it.
Invest in Colgate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're using it, right? You have Apple products, right? You have Apple products?
I'm an Android guy, man. I'm an Android guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. That's sad, but you know, it's okay.
Hey man. We're gonna get you man. I gotta go to Android.
Okay, man. but let's think about it, right? Middle class and under, the typical household, they have Apple products.
They do.
They have Jordans. They have game systems. Yeah. We have the top of the notch, right?
Yeah.
But we can't seem to break through the ceiling.
Right.
It's because we're giving our money, but our money is not returning to us.
Right. It's not making any. Our money's not making money.
Because we're planting in stony ground. The ground has to be right.
Gotta have fertile soil.
It's got to be in order for it to produce a harvest.
Exactly. Okay.
And so don't be afraid to invest. People perish for the lack of knowledge.
Okay.
I mean, we can even dig into the credit situation, right? Middle class and under, is a lot of folks that is not knowledgeable about credit until it's too late.
Right. Until you're trying to buy something, they tell you got bad credit. Yeah.
because, right, mama and them use your social security number
To get
Yeah.
to get
cell
X,
phone.
Y, and Z. You understand what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah.
For the
So
light bill.
we have to break the cycle, peel the onion back, and let's be honest with the whole situation,
Uh-huh.
right? And let's educate, and then let's move forward.
Gotcha.
But if we never educate, we're going to be in the same cycle. It's a rabbit hole.
We'll keep doing the same thing we've always done. Like I always
That's
tell people, like
all insanity.
you learn money from your parents and what they did well or what they did wrong, and then you try to do something different, and then you'll find out either they did the best they could with what they had, and then you'll start getting into that same scenario and that same cycle.
Right.
Okay.
Breaking
Right.
generational curses. And that's what, I mean, CEO movement, road to opulence. That's what we about,
That's
baby.
what we do. You know
what
it.
I'm saying? So just give a little on that outside the money. Tell me how this space has benefited you.
Well, it's definitely benefited me because I've had the opportunity to impact lives on a mental situation, on a spiritual situation, and financial. So for me, it's about the whole person. Humanitarian or humanity is one of the things that I hold dear to my heart. Because if I don't really know where you are, what's happening with you, and your vision, I can't really be beneficial to you.
Right. Okay.
Right. I can throw things at you, but if you can't see what I'm throwing, you ain't gonna catch it.
Absolutely.
Like a blind man trying to play baseball.
Yeah. So it's my duty to know where you are, where you're trying to go. So now I can help you along your journey.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the things that has definitely been very beneficial for me, because I didn't have to return to our company because I was very knowledgeable and I knew what I needed to do. But the Lord said, you are to go back because you are a conduit, meaning you are there for people that need the space, but you are also there for people that are in the space and need to be pushed over the threshold. So because I know my assignment,
right.
It's my duty to do what I'm assigned to do.
So what's your goal for 2021 with your helping people? What's your goal? Like what are you trying, where are you trying to take where you are with investing, with financial literacy, and where are you trying to go with it?
To produce 5 millionaires.
5 millionaires, just 5.
Just 5.
In less than 365 days.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm gonna be one of them, just to let you know.
Yeah. Yep. Just 5.
Just 5. Hey man,
because
that's
I'm all about duplication.
Okay.
And so if I can duplicate myself 5 times, I know they will duplicate themselves 5 times. And then the cycle keeps going.
That's love, right? That's love right there. Because you could have just taken this information, sat back and made millions and never told anybody anything.
Absolutely. But that's a hoarder. And we're hoarders of information. We're hoarders of knowledge, right?
Right.
And so because I don't like clutter and I don't like to hoard things, it's easy for me to flow. And when you are solid in who you are and what you have the capability of doing and your knowledge, it's easy for you to share.
Okay. I can dig that. I can dig that.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, time is running down, but it was an amazing show this week. It was amazing talking to you, KD. You know what I'm saying, and just hearing about your leadership and your journey and your success in this space. But before we go, I want you to give everyone, like, you know, your email, contact information, just in case they want to get in touch with you about this space and, you know what I'm saying, entering into it. And also just some final words to give to someone out there struggling to make that leap and to have that faith and to develop that faith to be where you are, you know, because it definitely takes faith on this journey. So
definitely. So you can reach me at www.winbigwithkd.com. winbigwithkd.com, and you can schedule a consultation with me, 10 to 15 minutes, any day, anytime. Place it. I will contact you. We will definitely talk, and we will get you squared away and get you going. At the end of the day, you know where you're trying to go. You know where you want to be in life. And if generational wealth is your journey, if residual income is your journey, if you want to become debt free, that's your journey, then you need to connect with me, because I have some resources that I can teach you. I have some things that I can show you that will cause you to change the trajectory of your life. Look at me. I'm from New York City. I'm from Harlem. I'm from 44th Street, between 7th and 8th Avenue. Right. I'm a hood dude. Okay, I was about to say something else. You understand? But you know, the Lord has definitely changed me. He has shielded me, and He has altered my path. And so in that, I'm always going to be for those that are left out, always going to be for those that seem to be the underdog or the black sheep, because that's my ministry. And so I was able to clear $127,000 in student loan debt just my first 6 months in the business. So because of the skill set, because of the knowledge, because of the tutelage that I have, I am willing to share. Just definitely connect with me. Once again, it's www.winbigwithkd.com. And I promise you, you will not regret that you connected with me.
Absolutely. Amazing. Jason, any final words?
Hey, man. I want to say thank you, Mychal, for bringing KD on, man. This was, I'm always been a skeptic. People say, well, I did this in 2 weeks, I did that in 2 weeks, and then you never get a chance to talk to them. They never sit down one-on-one with you. KD, this right here, hey, man, eye-opening, heart-pounding. This has been the best Sunday. This has been the best session that we've had. Because this information right here changes the game. Yeah. Hey, I just want to say thank you. I can't even put more sentences together, man. This is I'm at a loss for words, man.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I want to thank you as well, KD. It's been a wonderful episode. You already know, man. I'm just grateful for your leadership and you know, everything you've done for me. And we're gonna keep winning. You know,
you better know it.
You already know that, man. I thank you. That's another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by Dreams to Reality. I want to thank KD again. Quick shout out to Road to Opulence CEO Movement, IML Academy. You know how we do. But remember, the goal is not to be better than anybody, but together we can achieve better for everybody. And that's another episode. See you next week, same time, same place. Peace.